today.
All right, hello, hello. Looks like we are good to go. Hello, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to our Genshin Impact, basically a history and a community panel. Thank you so much for coming. My name is Sayu. I am one of the original Closed Beta 2 testers, and I've been playing Genshin for a very long time. I'm really excited to share with you guys some of the trials that we went through and some of the incredible things that you won't see anymore. Mostly things like bugs. All right, so first things first, for some of you guys who may not know, Genshin Impact originally did allow us to stream the closed betas. We were able to share the information with each other and with the world, though most people don't know this because now you can't actually do that. So real quick, this is one of the articles that you will see popped up a long time ago. Some of you guys know the big comparison that it had to Breath of the Wild, the Legend of Zelda game. It was a very, very big issue, sort of say. It really took away from the game's, what do you call it? I guess integrity back then, trying to get it hyped up and things like that. It actually had like quite near zero hype. It was like the first game of its kind that was competing with Breath of the Wild, which was an exploration game. You can see actually a lot of, there was a lot of thoughts from other streamers. You can actually see myself in here. This was my old handle. And I very much was one of the few people actually testing the game. There were 3 closed betas total, starting with closed beta 1. We went into 2 and 3 with several months apart. Closed beta 2 was actually around April 2020. And this was a time where nearly nobody watched these streams. I was streaming it the whole time. You guys probably know Fobmaster. Fobmaster streamed it. He had 1 viewer for a very long time, all the way into Closed Beta 3. There was nobody watching these games, and every time people came in, people were comparing it to Breath of the Wild, and it was really, really, really hard for us to kind of defend against that, because we were the ones playing it, we knew it was different, but we didn't really have anything to prove it other than, hey, the characters look cool. And people were not familiar with the concept of gacha games. It went very poorly. Yeah. Closed beta lasted about 1 month long, so whenever we started a closed beta account, we would rush as fast as we could to get to higher account levels, just so that we could progress the story, and we were basically speedrunning the game for a month. And then after that month was over, they would wipe the data, so we would have to start again if we were welcomed into the next closed beta. People reached about as high as like level 40. Nobody could reach 60. It was actually impossible. We were playing 16 hours a day. We were grinding it really, really, really hard. But it was a really, really fun game. Pretty much anything that you saw up into Liwa, which is the second city, was already in the game. Everything ran really, really smoothly. It was really nice to look at. You can see here, right? I'm gonna mark some stuff so it doesn't look as messy. But if I go like this, all right, give me one moment. Hey, you can kind of see how everything looked really nice already in the game. You had this thing called the Lantern Rite, and in the Make-A-Wish, you could make a wish for whatever you wanted, and you could see what other people would wish for. It was really, really cool. They actually took this out of the event when it came into global release, but it was a really cool little tidbit, things they were considering adding. I thought it was really nice. I actually don't know why they didn't add it in, but you can see the timestamp here. This was a very long time ago. This says 2020, and this was the 27th of March. Yeah, it was a really, really cool time, and just all the rest of this pretty much looked the same. The game already looked really, really nice. But the way they held the closed betas was that we only got to test characters we pulled. Closed beta 2, they gave us 1,000 Primo Gems a day to actually try to pull characters, and I didn't pull any 5 stars other than Xiao, so I couldn't really show you anything other than that. But there you go! Yay for pulling characters! Awesome. In Closed Beta 3, I also pulled 0 5 stars, so nothing new there. They actually kind of experimented with the fact of, what if you were a broke player and they only gave us 1,000 Primo Gems, or 100 Primo Gems a day, and we were like, oh, okay, that's great, thanks. Yeah, good stuff. A lot less characters were pulled. So other than that, that was pretty much how our closed beta testing went, all the way up until closed beta 3, ended about in summer, June, and we were like, okay, this looks pretty good for release. Release happened in September, late September, and we were like, oh, this is great, it looks exactly the same. That's why a lot of the closed beta testers, went faster through the game because we already had seen the story, and we skipped through a lot of it. And then if we go to, things that happened after release, beta testers moved into a phase where they would be invited normally, and now there are a lot of closed beta testers, actually, who test, upcoming patches and things like that. However, the difference now is not only can they not stream it, they also can't share that they themselves are closed beta testers confirmed. Like, if you ask somebody and they're actually testing, they can't confirm or deny that they are testing. Another thing that happened is that NDAs came out. So, Genshin Impact and MiHoYo kind of reached these, famous tech job levels of NDAs, where if you leaked anything that was not officially released, you got hit pretty hard. And one of the first iterances of this was when somebody got sued for $63,000. And that's when we all went, oh, okay, I guess we shouldn't do that anymore. Yeah, and that's why there are a lot less leakers. Funny enough, during Closed Beta 2, that was kind of the first beginnings of the official content creator program, which would give out rewards to people who were creating Genshin Impact content of some sort. Streamers, video makers, people who were writing articles, and cosplayers, things like that. There was a lot of conflict of interest. Because leakers were so powerful back then, they would get so many views on YouTube, and a lot of people dropped out. A lot of people didn't see the, MiHoYo as supporting the official creators, for following the rules so much as leakers. So this was kind of when leakers got, actually punished really hard for it. But funny enough, also what happened with global release is that people were starting to use Genshin Impact models as VTubers. Yeah, Genshin Impact actually has its 3D models available for the public to use, which is why you see a lot of MMDs, dance videos, things like that. They're actually using the models. Genshin Impact allows these to be part of content. However, Genshin Impact does not allow people to cosplay as VTubers, quote unquote, as streamers. You cannot do that. And you will be removed and banned. If you were reported, that was also possibly me doing that. Sorry! Yeah. Funny enough, the voice actors for Genshin Impact are also not allowed to do that. If they try to, be a VTuber of their own character they voice, they also cannot do that. Because that is representing MiHoYo. They do not actually represent MiHoYo. They can't do that. Yep. So, with all the talk of leaks, it's not like it stopped, right? I mean, people were still afraid to get sued, but it was still happening, right? Funny enough, this is when MiHoYo actually went ahead and started doing it themselves. So in about the time when Inazuma started coming out, just about the beginning of Inazuma characters, we saw an influx of MiHoYo posting on their Twitter, the official Genshin Twitter, a whole bunch of pictures and units and characters, and we went, wait, what the heck is that? Who's that? And what they were doing was they were posting all their characters ahead of time. And it was kind of in response to a very big leak that happened at the time with, some content, and they basically said, okay, you know what, we're just gonna leak our stuff ourselves. And it was very, very funny to see. That's why we see a lot of characters now on their Twitter ahead of time. We already know who's coming out. And it's pretty much a really easy way to just say, rip leakers. So, yeah, very, very funny response from MiHoYo there. MiHoYo also kind of started doing their own streamer events. You guys have probably seen those on Twitch if you use Twitch. It is drops. Things like the Paimon extension, where if people pressed a like on certain people's streams who had the extension, we would be able to get free Primo gems by reaching the goal. That one was one that a lot of people actually bowed out of. They didn't think it was very good. I was one of the people testing the first iteration, and I thought it was pretty nice. But there were a lot of people who, basically started using the extension after we reached the goal. That works. At least everyone still gets it. After that, we had the KFC Wings event. I don't know if anyone remembers that. That was kind of unfortunate because, people didn't like that one. Yeah. I heard it was free on the China client side, and it wasn't exactly for us. Now, the way you got those KFC wings, which were, wings, attachments, a skin, wing skin, when you glide through the game. I believe in China it was you buy like KFC and you get the code. For the global client side, you had to gift 2 gift subs to any participating Twitch streamer, and then you would get the wings code. So for me being on the Twitch side, I go, well, that's kind of nice, huh? Everyone else kind of saw it as a, oh boy, a cash grab. And people weren't very happy. So they did invite a lot of people to participate. A lot of us actually bowed out, just because we were like, oh, it's okay. We don't really want to participate for one reason or another. Some friends were just saying, oh, they didn't want to stream, a lot of Genshin Impact as much as, was probably required for it. We're like, okay, that's understandable. But what happened was after a lot of people declined, and in part of that was some of the bigger Genshin streamers actually bowed out because they knew that they would get most of the subscriptions. These smaller streamers actually wouldn't get any, right? Like, why not just pick the first Genshin stream you see in the category and sub to it and just be over with it? The people that don't watch Twitch aren't going to care. So that's a lot of bigger streamers, most of them actually, even myself, we bowed out. And once we did, the offer actually changed, so we were very upset. Because they changed the offers to try to incentivize other people to continue with it, and that wasn't great. Also, what happened that made people even angrier was that some of the people who were participating in the event, some of the streamers, they were streaming in the Genshin category, which means that, anytime you were eligible to subscribe to streamers and get the rewards, they had to be streaming the category. Yeah, a lot of these, there were a couple Genshin streamers that were in the category and they were sleeping. Yeah, that wasn't too great. Obviously, people were very angry at those specific streamers, but in general, made a lot of enemies. Yeah, that didn't go too well. Yeah, so that's pretty much like, the whole history of like all the logistics and stuff, kind of up to date. Now, of course, now MiHoYo is, creating games under HoYoverse, which is not really any different. It's just they're trying to create an image of like, oh, we're going after this whole like virtual aspect. We are trying to encourage the fact that it's more like, about the games and stuff like that. Pretty much the same stuff. But yeah, that's kind of how a lot of the events went. A lot of things are going a lot better. I would like to say that it's promising. I always look forward to more events. We'll see kind of how it goes over. That said, a lot of very funny things came out of us testing the games and not necessarily testing the games as well. We have this here, okay? And what was funny here, if none of you guys have heard of the under the water glitch, I joked around a lot and I called it Sumeru. It is not Sumeru. It is not one of the regions, not released. But what we used to have is we used to have a way to jump out of our ships and charge into the ground. And if we charged into it hard enough, we would just go through the water. And we could walk on desert. Pretty much. Yeah. So that was really cool. This was during the Golden Archipelago era, where we had a temporary area in the game. This was on global, past global release, and it was really cool to just kind of see the world, from under the water. Honestly, I just ran around a lot. You could go under structures. These are all above the water, so it just looked really funny. You can still do this in the game. In the normal cities, you do this in Liyue, which is the second city. You find a boat, you wedge yourself in between the boat and the dock, and you just fall down. As you can see here, we were talking about you can still pop out of the water. If you're too close to the surface of the water, you will pop out. Sometimes if you sprint or if you jump, you'll just pop back out. But you can pop right back in. Now, what's funny about this, not only can we see all the stuff on the bottom, sometimes we would see little patches that were colored differently because of there would be cutscenes and stuff like that in the game, and we could see the aftermath of that. Let me see here. Let's go to right about here, and I can show you. All right, so here I'm kind of nearing the edge of the map, right? Obviously, if we're gonna go underneath the water, you're gonna have to see what's at the edge of the map. The edge of the map. Behold. Yeah, okay, well, it sounded cooler, right? It's, yeah, okay. Yeah. It's basically the edge of the map. Okay, so, I did jump off, and you just respawn back at the top, okay? So, I did fly as far as I could. There was nothing else on the other side. I just, you hit the red barrier, but you just keep going and going and going until you just can't go anymore. Yeah, that was pretty much it. But you can take really cool screenshots, there were a bunch, guys, it looks pretty cool. Okay, well, anyways, I thought it was cool. All right, that's okay. There were a lot of things that you could still interact with, even though I was underneath the water, you could still hit enemies that are above water. You could still get affected by things like the mist. So in this area, you had a mist that would bounce you back. And you would still get bounced back by it, even if you were underwater. If you do that in the current normal map, you will still get shocked by you will still get hit by certain things, like anything that's, terrain level like this. Like if you try to walk your way to Inazuma from Liyue, where you start the glitch, you will still get shocked by lightning. If you haven't, done that part of the story. There are people who use this to skip all the way to Inazuma really early, because ideally you're not supposed to be able to. If you don't go through the story, you're supposed to get stopped by a whole bunch of lightning bolts or things like that as you try to sail across the water. You will still get hit by them, but because you're not sailing, you can kind of just dodge. So there's that. That said, one other fun thing. Let me put this up here. All right, so I have a couple little fun things that you won't see up anymore because these are all bugs, okay? And this is just kind of a little bug showcase segment that I want to show you guys because it was real. I did enjoy, not necessarily breaking the game, but it's kind of fun to see a game mess up. A game like this with such nice graphics. It was quite fun. So, this for example, okay? Normal everyday, you know, hit the sign, hit the enemy thing. Except you could fly. But flying obviously means falling, and that means getting killed. So, that was always fun. That happened to me just that once, where I was fighting an enemy like normal, it shot me up into the air for some reason or another, and I just basically hit the floor, and fall damage. Yeah, because I don't fly, so. Yeah, that was pretty much that. Another really great one was this one. So you know, birds in this game are supposed to be able to run away, and unfortunately, this one didn't. Yeah, it didn't really want to run. I'm not sure why, but didn't feel like it. So I was like, oh cool, like a friend. Yeah, they, you know, I like birds, and it was a good time. It was a very good time. Good memories. Good memories. Right, the memory. Emphasis on the memory part. Yeah. What else did we have? Let's see here. This was actually still like after the release, I believe. Yeah. Oh, give me 1 second. This thing doesn't want to be a decent size for me. Okay. Okay, well I tried, player. Anywho. Now, that looks pretty normal. Yeah. 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 And just so you know, we didn't do anything different other than we were just playing co-op. Yeah, so when people say co-op doesn't have any content, I don't know what they're talking about. I think they're just missing out. Yeah, so, you know, but, you know, she's very compact. Klee always was very helpful, holding herself up for our convenience. Thanks, that was pretty great. Okay, we also had this little tidbit here, okay? So usually when you run a domain, it's pretty okay, you know? It tells you, oh, you need to defeat this many enemies, and then you can, you know, get your rewards. We happened to kill everything in order, and then we had a problem because we couldn't find the last guy. And the clock's still ticking, because there's a time limit. So we're all standing here wondering where the last enemy went. And yeah, we ultimately just stood around for a while, and turns out we just had to leave and try it again. I've literally seen this happen just this one time. So, same with the Klee. I think the Klee one maybe happened twice at most, maybe 3 times. Not too many. Yeah, that one was a bit of a doozy. That one's pretty great. And then I have one more here to show you guys really quick. This one is pretty funny because this one's one of the oldest ones I have, and it's yeah, it is something. Yeah. Give me 1 moment here. Aha, here we go. Move this up here. Alright, cool. Okay, so this was actually actually during closed beta too. So, there's gonna be bugs, right? Yeah? Test version, not indicative of the final product. However, if this part was actually in there, I would have absolutely loved it. I'm going around gathering treasure. This guy, right? This guy over here, smart young lad, great dude, all right? Yeah? Just backing the heck up. Scared of me, I'm sure, I'm powerful, I'm the almighty traveler. And, he seems to be so scared that he starts to go that way. Okay, now the problem here is that's a cliff. And that's yeah. But he's all the way over here. I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, that's awesome. That's just great. What better way to... Man's moonwalking, I swear. And, I was like, okay, I can go after him, right? So I'm like, I'll just climb up this mountain top and I will come after you, bro. Yeah, that sounds like a fun time. Yeah, why not? I'm gonna come join you. So yeah, let's do that. Okay, so swap over here. Right, coming over. Yeah, I'm going, and he's gone. Right, yeah. That was the moment where I realized, sometimes NPCs are just underrated, and they are meant to be the main character, because, well, screw me, there you go. Yeah, and that was pretty much just the end of that. He was just gone. He was just gone, and that was just it. No mobs, I guess, no mobs, no drops, light drops. Yeah, pretty much. Anyways, there's a whole bunch of little bug showcases for you guys. Lastly, I actually wanted to show you guys something real quick. This is more of a bit of a history thing. So as you guys know, MiHoYo is a Chinese company. They've done really well with Inazuma, and a lot of things are very, very close to Japanese culture, which is based off of. However, this is one thing that, I am Japanese and I do connect a lot of, things while I'm streaming to the culture. This is one of the things that I discussed with a friend of mine, and I didn't really think about it when I watched the original cutscene. Now, you see in this cutscene, this is, I'm not going to show the whole thing, no, because I don't want to spoil people, but this is just a moment where, you meet a character named Toma, and you guys do hot pot together, all right? The table is set with, all the hot pot ingredients, things like that. These are the, the tricolor dango that you guys are probably familiar with. And the chopsticks, actually, a lot of people aren't going to notice this. The chopsticks are laid here, vertically. Japanese culture actually tends to have the chopsticks placed here, horizontally, underneath your bowl. So a lot of people, you don't think about this when you're at restaurants or things like that, because people generally lay them out, like this. But actually, it's a very Japanese thing, so to say, to put them horizontally underneath your bowl. So this was slightly culturally incorrect, actually. Not a big deal, but it was kind of interesting to go, I never really thought of it. But yeah, small things like that. But yeah, no, overall, honestly, they did an incredible job with Inazuma. Really, really, really beautiful region. Yeah. All right, well, that's pretty much most of what I had to talk about here. I did want to leave a little bit of time for a Q&A. I do have open the panel room 1 chat. If you guys have any questions, I should be able to hear the audience question as well. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, do feel free to ask me.
I have a question.
Hello. let's see, is the sounds working there? Let me get a confirmation. I don't hear any sound on my end yet.
Check.
We might have issues with the sound.
Okay, that's cool.
You guys can type in the Discord if you want to. Oh, yeah, but either relate to you, but I did type.
Okay, I see some people typing in the chat. Let's see here.
Yeah, okay, so, sorry. Just type in your name together.
Okay, they said that they can do chat. So if you guys are able to type it into the chat in their Discord server, then I will be able to see your questions there. Okay. Let's see. So from Sky to High, how did you hear about Genshin? How did you get into the first beta? They originally had their website up, and they did have signups. So a lot of people signed up through their website, and just people like finding the game, online, Google search engine. Actually, somebody I knew let me know that Genshin Impact looked pretty good, and it was doing, closed beta signups. And I was like, cool, awesome. Neither of us got into the first one. We actually re-signed up for the second one. So just because you didn't get into one didn't mean you got into the other ones. But if you did participate in one of the tests, you had a better chance to get into the other ones. So when I was in 2, it was easy for me to make the transition to 3, and at that point, staff was always already kind of like, yeah. But yeah, great question, thank you. And then from Pharaoh, hello. Was Genshin Impact a part of my inspiration for becoming a VTuber, and has moving to the medium helped with your growth? Definitely. Me becoming a VTuber was funny enough, just mostly because I would like to put my content out there as what it is. My personality out here is what it is. And not always based on if I can, draw lines straight on my face with makeup. That stuff's kind of hard. I don't know how girls do that every day. Much respect. So, yeah, that's pretty much the reason, my VTuber came about. I know that as my name actually is Sayu. So if you guys see me around the convention, you can say hi. Please do. And that's basically just the reason my account name is Sayu. I definitely existed way before she became a part of the game, so I did not name myself after her. But a lot of myself and a lot of the closed beta players did think that Genshin may have designed her a little bit after me because I'm also short, and my avatar at the time actually had gray hair. So we were like, Sayu is not the most common name you see out there, even in Japan. So, go figure, we like to think that. But yeah, it definitely helped with growth because Genshin Impact already is a very big category on Twitch. But it actually didn't really help that much that I was a closed beta tester because of the fact that, everyone was like, it's just like, Breath of the Wild, it ain't that interesting. And there were a few people left over from the closed beta that carried over, but not very many. Yeah. Even when bigger streamers played Genshin Impact back then, everyone's like, eh. So, yep. And then let me see. Oh, thank you so much, Kwan. Thank you for typing that in for Alex. Hi, nice to meet you. When Mihoyo was dealing with closed beta testers who had propensity for leaking content, in my opinion, did it affect the game's development roadmap? Somewhat. That is actually a very good question. Because I do think that, yes, it was great to show off what Genshin Impact was, capable of. Just because we had the first few characters, they were all from one region. They all had a distinct style. Mondstadt, which is the first city that you come across in the game, actually was based off of, a German city, It's like German architecture and, European style for the clothing. So some of the character styles being leaked from other regions did kind of tell us, hey, look at these beautiful outfits. These are coming soon. You kind of want to check out the game. So yes, it did rope people in. It was also something that free-to-play players started to rely on because they would save their gems and only be spending them for characters they knew were coming out or things like that. A lot of people had told me They were like, oh yeah, well I saw this character get leaked, so I'm gonna wait for that character. I go, that's not quite how it's supposed to work, but you know what? You're not wrong. So there was a lot of that going on. Also, it kind of did hint to a lot of, it's not like whole regions got leaked, but because a lot of characters were leaked, people were like, oh, that looks like a Japanese outfit. There's probably gonna be a Japanese region. So pretty much that. We don't really, again, see those kinds of leaks anymore. Genshin Impact wants to leak them first, kind of thing. But yeah, that's an awesome question, thank you. And then from Sky2I again, thank you. What is your most wanted feature you would like Hoyoverse to add in future versions? That is an awesome question. I honestly would really love it if they added group raids. So a big complaint with a lot of content creators and a lot of players right now, in general, everybody is unhappy with the co-op support. There's not a lot of things to do together with your friends, and it would be really cool if we could have like 4-man raids, right? Where you would join together with your friends in somebody's world and try to take down a boss. We did have something similar. There was a hypostasis event where we had the world bosses that we already have on the current map together in a single room for a short amount of time. You know, they said, hey, here's an event where you battle several of these bosses over and over and over, like, one after the other, in kind of like a boss rush. And it was, much easier to do with your friends. You were able to add other difficulties, other things that made made the fights harder or easier. And it was actually a really cool event. But again, it was limited time. It would be really nice to kind of have that as a permanent content. I think it would be very popular because, people are very proud of their characters. People pull multiples of their characters and they would like to, show that off, right? Let me see here. And again, from Alex, thank you. Besides the Lantern Rite, were there other content cut from the version updates you've come across? I think that was definitely the biggest one. They did change small things, like the fates, the little currency, what do you call it? You know how in every gacha game you have like little cards or little currency, or like teardrops or whatever that you use to pull the gacha, right? Like you have your gems, and then you have the items you can convert those gems into to pull gacha, right? Some for limited, some for permanent banners. They did change the way those icons looked, so they are a little bit different. Yeah, let me see if I can. I don't know if I can find that still. I guess if I tried. But there wasn't too much change to the map. The map pretty much looked the same. Like everything, this is from closed beta 2, so it all still looked really good, really crisp. The bosses were still the same. Landscape was the same. It was absolutely gorgeous, honestly. Yep, so all the icons, at this point they had them as well. Closed Beta 1, they actually didn't have all the icons, but so from Closed Beta 2 and 3, there was a lot less change, because they already had the map, they had all the icons on the map, the teleport symbols and everything. Yeah, and it was pretty much done. Let me see if there's a portion here. I do go into the gacha. I don't think I pulled in this one here, because I was poor, and you guys know how it is to pull the gacha. It's a sad time. It's a sad time. But yeah, this is all very early on, so it all kind of looked the same. Let's see. Yeah, all honestly probably look the same. I unfortunately don't have a thing that shows the wishes. Okay, yeah, if I can scrub and find one, I will let you know. I might still take a look. And let's see here. From Lilith, hello! Is there a particular story, event, or region that you're excited to experience moving forward? Oh, that's a great question. I like that. Honestly, I'm really excited for Sumeru. There is a kind of a little joke that myself and our community have been like talking about, which is like, oh, Sumeru is supposed to be the land of wisdom, right? Some of these puzzles in Inazuma, is the current region, are kind of big brain, okay? Like they're kind of hard, just a little bit, make me think. And so if the next region is about to be the region of wisdom, let's just say that guides are going to be very viewed on YouTube. Yeah. We a lot of us think that the next region, if it's going to be wisdom, some of those puzzles might be big brain, like 200 IQ level puzzles. So kind of excited to see what they'll come up with, because we have seen literally nothing of Sumeru, and that's kind of exciting. Yeah. But yeah, honestly, like these are some really good questions. Thank you guys so much for asking. And if you guys do have any more that I can't get to, please feel free to stop by my stream. It's very easy to find my stream. It's just twitch.tv/Sayu. I am the Sayu. Ha ha ha. And yeah, feel free to ask any kind of questions. I can show you guys the current under the water glitch, and I can go underneath and I can just I can walk to Inazuma. We can also now go under the water in Inazuma as well. So it's kind of cool to go underneath those islands, not under the islands, but under the ocean, very close to those islands. Yeah, we can do the glitch pretty much everywhere. And then from Gentleman, hello! Are there any puzzles you were really proud of figuring out or thought were unfair? There are quite a few. Let me see here. There is one that, okay, I did not figure this one out, but there is one in Inazuma that is basically a Sudoku puzzle. Okay, but it only has like 4 directions it can face. It's the cardinals, north, south, east, west, and you have to turn each one to like match the puzzle and like Sudoku them in a way where they add up to certain numbers, and it's that was kind of rough. I still don't. No, I could not have solved that. That was a lot of math for a mobile game that didn't involve my wallet. So if there's no dollars, I'm kidding. But yeah, that's pretty much that. Speaking of which, it was a big thing for Genshin Impact to be able to charge you on PayPal, okay? Before we didn't have that either. We're like, there's no PayPal, that's a problem. But the moment they got PayPal, yep. Yeah, that's where everyone's money went. Anyways, I think that's just about all the time we have today, but thank you all so much for coming. I know it's early for a lot of people, it's early for me. Definitely. Hey, DGen Squad. So thank you all so much. I really appreciate it. Hope you guys enjoyed, and hopefully I'll see you guys on stream sometime. Yeah, thank you. Thank you everybody for coming, and I hope you guys got a good loot out of some of these fun buggies.